Hi everyone, welcome to a new crafty video. This is a tutorial video on how to get started with needle felting. I will be using the June Craft Kitsune box, which is this needle felting kit. If you don't have this kit and are looking to get into needle felting, I also hope this video will be a good starting place for you. So first off, needle felting is the process of taking wool, seen here, and using needles to form shapes and then to form different projects such as these adorable pets seen here. In order to do this, you'll need a few basic starter supplies. The kit has all of those supplies as well as extras to make needle felted pets. But the very basic supplies you'll need with any needle felting project are some wool, a felting mat or pad to work on, and then felting needles. So here we have a couple different tools as well as lots of replacement needles. And then all the other items, I won't go into too much detail, but you can find the full list on the product listing on the website. So now let's jump into needle felting basics as well as safety. Alright, so first up, you'll want to gather all of your supplies and make sure that your real life inspiration doesn't try to make off with them. You'll want to tear off the length of wool you'll need for your project. For example, I use 10 inches for the body of all the pets I make, and this doesn't have to be super exact, but it's a good way of making sure all the parts of the body are relatively proportional. So a neat trick in pulling apart wool is you want to actually spread your hands further apart and it will more easily pull apart. So these are the two tools in the kit. This 3-needle tool I like to use for larger work and when I'm just getting started and I need to take raw wool and form it into a shape. And then I like to use the single needle tool for more detail work, and then you can store it by flipping it around and flipping the needle around and storing it like so. So needle felting needles come in different shapes and sizes in the length and the barb of the needle, and in general the shorter or smaller needles are for more detail work. So to make a 3D shape such as the head or body of an animal, you'll want to take the raw wool and roll it onto itself as tightly as you can. You'll use your non-dominant hand to hold the felt as you work with the needles. And you'll be using a lot of stabbing motions with the needles, so you can wear these finger guards so that they'll protect your fingers as you work. So you'll be using stabs to form and compress the felt into the shapes that you want. Always stab straight down with the needles. If you stab from the side, it can bend the needles and break them. And that's kind of the gist of needle felting basics. And before we get started on the projects, I just want to give one piece of advice, which is to not give up on needle felting if your first projects or projects don't look exactly how you like. This was one of my first projects and it's kind of like this scraggly cat and it doesn't look how I wanted it to, but in its own way it's pretty adorable actually. And I've improved just by doing different projects and getting more experience. So let's get started making some pets. I'll be making a bunny for this video tutorial. The cat and the dog also use the same first steps to make the head and the body. So to make the head, I will roll this felt into as dense of a spear as I can. And then I'll use the 3-needle tool to compress it into a more firm shape. For the body, you'll want to roll the felt into a sphere as well. And then you can stab it to compress it, but as you go, you'll want to leave one side more flat than the head and more of an oval shape. You can do this by stabbing more in one direction than the other. Now I'm going to be making the ears of the bunny, and to do so, I'll take my felt and fold it once, and then stab it into place, and I'll just do this lightly because the goal is just to keep it in place and not completely finish it. Because I'll then take it and fold it again and then lightly stab it into place, and then I'll do one final fold and then stab it more firm and finished. So you can do this folding process for the appendages of the pets, so the legs, the arms. Do pets have arms? I guess they just have legs. And then you can also use the folding method for the ears and the tails. And then to finish off the shape of the ear, I'll fold down one of the sides and felt it, and then I'm going to curve the ends inward. And then I'm going to take some light pink and add it on top of the ear. You'll notice that I left some raw felt on the end of the ear, and this is to help attach it to the head. So you can use those ends to help stab them onto the head, and then you can also use the ends when you're making the legs and the other parts of the cat and dog so that you can more easily attach them to the rest of the body. I'm also using the ends of the ears to more easily attach the head to the body as well. One of my favorite parts of needle felting is adding details, so you can use small pieces of wool and you can use them to color the pet. I also make a little tail for my bunny. I can add the tail to the body as well as finish up the coloring of the coat that I want for this bunny. And now it's time to add the facial details. You can also do this before you attach the head to the rest of the project, but I'm doing it as the last step. So I use the needle tool to mark where I want the eyes to go as well as to create a hole for the eyes. Then I use some super glue on the eyes that I want to use and I put it into the felt. For the mouth, I use a very small amount of felt and then I use my single needle tool to put it where I want and kind of draw out the mouth. And then that's it for our bunny friend. To make a cat or a dog, you'll want to use the same steps to make the head and body as with the bunny. And then you'll also want to make some legs by folding the felt. And you'll want to curve the ends of the legs up. You can make the ears by folding the felt and then on the last fold, folding it into a triangle. Once you have all of the parts, including a tail, you can assemble your animal. So here I already added the eyes and the rest of the face along with the ears, and then I'm going to attach it to the body. So you can use the ends there with the raw felt to attach everything together. So then once you're done attaching everything together, you'll have a cat that looks something like this. For the last project, I'm going to be making a paw. So you want to roll up the felt into a ball shape. And then you can felt it into a round disc-like shape. And then take the paw stencil and just some bits of the pink wool. And then use the stencil as a guide to felt on the different shapes of the paw. After you're done adding the shapes, you can take off the stencil and then use the needle to clean up around the edges. And then lastly, I like to use the needle and felt some ridges where the different toes would be. And then that's it for the paw. I am going to make it into a keychain though. And you can make any of your projects into keychains by using an eye pin and some super glue. You can also add bells or other embellishments that you'd like. And that's it for the tutorial. So now let's take a look at everything that I made. So my sibling actually made the cat and the dog, which are super adorable. And then I made the bunny, and then I also made some different paws. So I made a couple different colors. Alright, so that's everything for the video. I hope you guys find this helpful getting started with needle felting. You can find out more about Craft Kitsune by going to the website in the description. There, you can view plans for our subscription box as well as shop one-time items. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye!